Welcome to ATV News. I'm Michaela Amos.
And I'm Guy Jaswani. Cherry blossoms are blooming this time of the year, and SG elections are ramping up.
The arrest of a student at the University of Virginia is stirring up controversy, and D.C. received a royal visit recently.
ATV News starts now.
The bloody arrest of a student at the University of Virginia this week has stirred things up in Charlottesville. Students have been engaging in protests against local law enforcement and using the chant Black Lives Matter.
The Cherry Blossom Festival began last Friday and will run until April 12th. This year, the colorful festivities are back, from a kite festival to the annual parade. And be sure to stick around until April 11th to the 14th for the Cherry Blossom Peak Bloom.
Now here's the latest in entertainment news with Jalen Chapman.
Hi, I'm Jalen Fairborn Chapman, and this is ATV Entertainment. It's been confirmed that new mother Kelly Rowland will be Essence Magazine's cover girl for April. The Kisses Down Low singer discussed one's natural tapping into their personal life to fuel her upcoming album, as well as showing pictures of her new 4-month-old child, Titan. The spread also included her husband, Tim Witherspoon. The new family looks gorgeous, and we wish them the best. But let us know when that album's dropping, Kelly. Last Wednesday marked the end of the first season of Fox's hip-opera empire. After a season of twists, turns, A-list guests, and iconic one-liners from Queen Cookie, we have to wait a whole year until next season. This is a no-spoiler zone, so I won't tell you what went down. But it is worth spazzing out over that Miss Patti LaBelle made a musical appearance and gave a shout-out to Black Lives Matter. Oh yeah, and I guess it's also important to note that they attracted 17 million viewers for their finale, continuing their ratings climb every single episode this season. As long as we are waiting, we can take solace in the confirmation that Oprah herself will make an appearance in next season. Speaking of dysfunctional record labels, Kendrick Lamar's album, To Pimp a Butterfly, was mistakenly released a week early by Interscope. The 16-track LP could be found on iTunes on March 15th, but by morning, the error had been corrected and it was only available via pre-sale. Kendrick seemed unfazed, spending more energy celebrating that it had dropped the day after the 20th anniversary of his favorite album, Tupac's Me Against the World. You can still stream the entire album on Spotify. I'm Jalen Fairborn Chapman, and this is ATV Entertainment.
This week, a D.C. driver was involved in 2 car accidents in Prince George's County, one of which involved a police officer and another which turned fatal. The man involved had been on probation for a case of armed carjacking in Prince George's in 2012, and he had just recently gotten out of prison.
Let's check out what's going on in politics with Maggie M. Bennett.
I'm Maggie Miller, and this is ATV News Politics. The Justice Department is investigating Illinois Representative Aaron Schock's congressional expenses after he announced his resignation last Tuesday. Schock's resignation followed revelations over the past few weeks about his business deals, spendings on travel, personal mileage reimbursements, and office redecorating in the style of Downton Abbey. Resigning abruptly, Schock cited a heavy heart following weeks of revelations about his business deals. He said in a statement that the constant questions about his spending and business dealings had made it impossible to continue serving effectively as congressman. The House of Representatives requested former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton to hand over her private emails this week. This move comes in response to Clinton's use of a private rather than government-controlled email account during her term in office, particularly concerning the incident at Benghazi. If Clinton does not comply with this request by April 3rd, she could face an investigation by the entire House of Representatives. That's it for ATV News Politics. Now back to Geet and Michaela.
Thanks, Maggie and Bennett.
This week, the American Public Transportation Association declared that there are no fatal flaws preventing DC's streetcar system from opening. The line, which would run along H Street in Northeast DC, has had its opening delayed many times already.
Let's check out what Arun has to say this week in sports.
Hi, I'm Arun Raman, and this is ATV Sports. March Madness started this week. Highlights from the first round include UAB beating Iowa State, Dayton taking down Providence, and a controversial goaltending call that gave UCLA a victory over SMU. Former NFL safety Darren Sharper is facing rape charges that have been filed in Las Vegas. Sharper's lawyer met with a Las Vegas judge on 2 sexual assault charges that occurred in January 2014. Each charge has a possible punishment of 10 years to life in prison in Nevada. Sharper has already faced sexual assault charges in Los Angeles, New Orleans, and the Phoenix area. In the NBA, Boston Celtics point guard Marcus Smart was ejected from Friday night's 101-89 loss after hitting San Antonio Spurs forward Matt Boner in the groin area during a play. Boner was setting up a screen against Smart, and Smart appeared to deliberately strike Boner rather than running into contact. The NBA looks over all flagrant fouls, and this could lead to Smart getting a fine or a suspension. I'm Arun Raman, and this has been ATV Sports.
Thanks, Arun.
American University professor David Pitts was sentenced to a year and a day for charges regarding an incident last fall where he broke into a building after setting fires on a nearby street. According to the university, Pitts will remain barred from the university after his sentence.
Earlier this week, a woman was shot in the leg while riding a metro bus in southeast DC. There were 30 passengers on the bus at the time, and 2 men are now in custody.
Oil's going down by the week, so let's check out what's going on in finance with Brandon Crayman.
Thank you, Guy and Michaela. My name is Brandon Crayman, and this is ATV Finance. Corporate America could buy Apple, Facebook, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, and still have money left over. According to a FactSet analyst of S&P 500 companies, corporate America saved $1.4 trillion in the fourth quarter last year. Ever since the recession, companies have been afraid to spend money, and these current savings are a direct result of that. The S&P downgraded Nigeria's credit rating from a BB- to a B+. The reasons stated were the decline of oil prices in the past 7 months and their tense political atmosphere. Entrepreneur released a report on what it takes to open a Subway. Potential restaurants must have at least $30,000 in liquid assets and a net worth of $80,000 to $310,000. It also costs anything from $116,000 to $262,000 to actually open the restaurant. Imagine how much it took for the campus Subway to open and then move to their new spot. The Dow Jones is up 162 and the NASDAQ is up 34 points. This has been ATV Finance. I'm Brandon Crayman. Back to you, Guy.
Thanks, Brandon. The SG elections kicked off this past Thursday with 3 candidates running for the presidency. Sasha Gilthorpe, Brian Paz, and Martin Slezak all threw their hats in the ring for the top position in student government. Voting begins March 30th online on our ABU portal.
While some may complain about March weather, this year's has had one thing over March's past. For the first time in 45 years, the National Weather Service has not issued a single severe thunderstorm or tornado watch this deep into March. The last time this happened, it was 1969. Now, here's World News with Bailey Edelstein and Sarah Kravitz.
Welcome to ATV World News. I'm Bailey Edelstein.
And I'm Sarah Kravitz. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu won the country's election on Tuesday and is now Israel's longest-serving prime minister. Netanyahu promised thousands of new homes for those in occupied territories and vowed he would not allow for a Palestinian state. Such promises stand to worsen Israeli relations with the U.S. and Europe.
On Friday, a member of ISIS carried out 2 attacks at mosques in Sana'a, Yemen, killing more than 130. The New York Times reported that bombings at mosques are rare, and a statement made by Al-Qaeda affiliate in Yemen condemned these attacks.
On Wednesday, 2 gunmen dressed in military uniforms opened fire in the Barda Museum in Tunis, Tunisia, killing 8 and taking hostages. The shooting occurred next to the Parliament building, where deputies were discussing anti-terrorism legislation. The effects of the Arab Spring can be seen as Tunisians leave to fight in Syria and Iraq, raising concerns that returning militants could conduct domestic attacks.
In lighter news this week, a 2-year-old video of Greece's Prime Minister Yanis Varoufakis making what seemed to be an obscene hand gesture toward Germany has resurfaced. This Greece-Germany scandal is called Fingergate and was resolved when a host of a late-night satire program claimed they faked the video. This has been ATV World News. I'm Bailey Edelstein.
And I'm Sarah Kravitz.
Thanks, guys. This week, DC received a royal visit from the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. The two toured important historical sites and paid a visit to the White House.
The U.S. Department of Education recently launched an investigation on AU regarding the response to sexual harassment. AU becomes the second school in the District of Columbia under investigation for Title IX compliance. The other school is Catholic University, which has been under investigations since January 2014. Let's hope for more sunny days after that recent flurry. Here's Emma Claire Martin with this week's weather.
Spring has finally arrived, but don't pack away your winter coats just yet. We begin the week with a low of 29 and a high of 53, followed by a cloudy Monday with a low of 29 and a high of 49. Tuesday will also be in the 30 to 50 range, while Wednesday and Thursday could bring us into the 60s. There is a chance of thunderstorms on Thursday with rain continuing into Friday. Temperatures will remain in the 30 to 50 range over the weekend and will hopefully get warmer from here. I'm Emma Claire Martin, and this has been your weekly weather report.
Thanks, Emma Claire. AU women's basketball danced in the first round of this year's March Madness. The team faced off against Iowa on Friday, but unfortunately lost 75-67 to the number 3 seed school. Congrats to athletics and the women's basketball team for their success this past season, and we hope to see them next year in the tournament.
Now with the latest news from around campus, here's Mike Goodkind with What's Up AU.
Hi, I'm Mike Goodkind, and this is What's Up AU. Yesterday, the women's basketball team lost to Iowa, signifying the end of the dance and an end to the team's great run. Kudos to them for making the NCAA tournament for the first time in team history. This week, many national news sources featured AU faculty, and the news sources included the Washington Business Journal, Huffington Post, and USA Today. Betsy Fisher-Martin, SPA's executive in residence, was featured in the Washington Business Journal for her journey from AU internship at Meet the Press to executive producer and managing editor for NBC News political programming. USA Today included journalism professor Richard Benedetto, arguing that the Hillary Clinton email scandal is reminiscent of previous Clinton controversies. There have been many stories featuring AU's faculty that you should definitely check out for yourself. Friday was the last day for students, faculty, and staff members to nominate students who are eligible to participate in the upcoming commencement. The top prize, the President's Award, includes an award of $1,000. I hope you voted wisely. This week, students running for SG announced their candidacy. Be sure to check out the Student Government Presidential Debate hosted by ATV on Thursday, March 26th. Voting begins March 30th at 3 o'clock p.m., and you can do that through your MyAU portal. This has been What's Up AU. I'm Mike Goodkind.
Michaela, how about that snow the other day?
I know, it's so crazy. Snow on the first day of spring.
Yeah, I just put away my sled and everything. I guess I have to bring it all out again.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get some warmer weather.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, well, that's it for our show today. Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Michaela Amos.
And I'm Guy Jaswani. Have a great week, AU.